Well, hello folks. In today's episode, we're going to be up on the roof. I'm going to be adding an attic hat. I've got a couple things going on here. I want to put a solar tube in and install a new ductless heat pump, and I need to get up in my attic. And when you don't have a very good place to put access on the inside of the house because you got special roofing or the spots are too small, what I decided to do was put an attic hatch in. Here I am. I'm starting to strip off the shingles. I had an idea where it was going to go. I want to put it to the closest to the top part of the roof as I can, so I have as much working area so I don't have to crawl down on my belly to get in to do what I want to do. You can see I've got some, these are regular architectural shingles. I've already been up in the roof here once before, so actually I am pulling off the shingles that I patched. Here's the underlayment that I'm pulling off. And I got down to the boards on the roof. Now I built this house back in 1984, and I used rough cut lumber that we actually cut out of the woods and had milled up. Now I kind of like saving the nails and stuff to use later on, the shingle nails. For when I reinstall the substrate and stuff like that, when I reinstall the underlayment and the shingles up top. So I didn't really have to cut the underlayment, the boards underneath, because like I said, I actually had this open once before and patched it back in. I'm looking down in there, and what I see...
Somebody's been in my attic. Looks like a squirrel. Got some pretty good trails through there, but I know they're out of there now because I got everything sealed up. Unwanted guest.
Well, I had the ends open when I was doing the added insulation on the outside of the house, and I had them open for quite a while before I got them sealed up. That's how I think the squirrels got up in there, running back and forth a little bit. They didn't do any damage, but they still made a little mess up there with the patting down the insulation. Now here I am. I'm actually building the hatch frame. And I'm using some lumber that I had sitting around. It's not the best in the world, but it does work well for the hatched frame. You can see this one's cupped a little bit. It's a little dirty. Must be my pencil broke its lead or something, so. See, the wood is still serviceable, it just doesn't look good. Now I'm trying to figure out what way is best for me to put this up there. So what I did was I nailed the frame together and I squared it up and I made the hatch to go on top. Here we are, bending some of the flashing to go around it. So what I did was I used what's called an ice and water. It actually has adhesive coating on the back, and it has granular on top. So you can use it for a finished roof. Now it's self-adhesive, so it sticks right to the boards as long as it's warm out, which it was this day. Hey, if you liked what you seen in this video, give it a thumbs up. And check out the next video after the skunk eats at the end. And oh yeah, this stuff, it really dulls the knife. So this is the old flashing I got left over, and what I'm actually doing is marking it out and cutting the flashing, because I'm going to take and actually make step flashing out of this old fascia. It's scrap fascia, and to make step flashing is fairly simple. In this project here, I'm basically just using what we got around the homestead here and trying to get it used up. And that way you save a little money. I don't know if you can see back of me there was the actual frame itself. So here's the frame that I made. I put a couple cleats on the side to make it a little bit easier to screw down, to attach it. And make sure it's square with the top of the shingles there, top of the roof, and that's going to make it square with the roof shingles and everything. So now I'm attaching it to the top of the roof with it looks like 3-inch screws. Looks like 3-inch duck screws I'm using. I'm making sure it's attached fairly well because this is going to be a permanent structure. Now with it attached, I'm actually doing what's called I'm waterproofing around it. And you start at the bottom because water comes from the top and drains down. So the drainage plane actually is what you're doing. So you start at the bottom, and then you do each side. So that it overlaps the bottom. I'm also using the self-adhesive, the ice and water, it's self-adhesive roofing. To do that, I wrap it around the corner. And this is going to make it so it's less likely to leak around the side there, around the joint. So after putting another piece up top, to get it all the way up to the top, now I'm putting the top piece on. I extended the sides up to the top. Now see, when the water runs down, it runs down over top of everything, and it shouldn't get into the box unit itself. Oh yeah, here I am carrying up the top that I made for it. Got to make sure it fits. Got to dry test it first before I put the finishing touches to it. And it fits over top. Beautiful. Now it's time to open up the top so we can make sure everything is dried in first. I'm saving these shingles so I can reuse them. And I'm going to reuse the vent cap too. The ridge vent cap. What I'm doing is squaring off the old shingles now. And you see it kind of looks like a step going down. That helps when you weave the new shingles back into the old shingles. So the new ones I'm putting on are not the exact same color, and they wouldn't be because the old ones have been on now for about 15 years. So I don't even think I can get, I think they've been discontinued. So I find a closest match that I've got. And now it's time to start the step flashing. And what we're doing is we're making it so when the water flows down, it flows over top of everything, and it doesn't get behind the shingles. Or underneath it. See, I told you I liked using those old used nails for this. See? Step flashing goes down. Tack it into place. Slide the new shingle under the old one. Yeah, there was a nail stuck up there. I couldn't get it up all the way. Oh, here's the fun part, because you got to try to get nails in underneath. You can do it. Make sure you tack the old one back down again. Another piece of step flashing. Now, as you can see, the reveal is a little bit different. So you actually have to measure to make sure you try to get it equal length as possible, because you can really mess up some stuff if you don't. So when we get finished here, it's going to look pretty good. And I got up to the top here, and I'm putting a long piece of flashing up top that I had. It's kind of like a giant piece of step flashing. And that's going to protect the back of the wood there a little bit more. So when the water comes down there, it's less likely to get in behind it. Put a little caulking down, a little bit of pookie in the corner there so that it's less likely to leak. Put a little bit there so the water won't run underneath it. Now I think that looks pretty good. A little different color, but not bad. Now the old shingles, since we had to lift them up, they won't adhere down any longer unless you put some roofing cement underneath there. A little adhesive. So that's what we're doing. Using through the roof, specially made for it. It's a nice soft caulking material, adhesive, specially made for that. Well, there I put the roof back on, and now I'm attaching the old cap shingles that were up there. I tried to reuse everything that I could because roofing material is starting to get expensive. Now I'm putting a bottom piece on there, a bottom piece of flashing to dress it up a little bit, and also it makes it so it's less likely for water to get back in there. See the drainage plane at work? All the water flows down, flows over. And now I put a piece of aluminum flashing over top so the water goes down. It doesn't go behind the step flashing. It goes down, goes over on top, and it protects the wood that I used. It protects the inside of the house, and it protects the roof boards. There we go. Beautiful. Nothing's going to get in there now.
Hey there, everyone. We got it finished before the rains came. Doesn't that look pretty? Now I have access to my attic up there anytime I want. Oh yes. I see they're different colored shingles. But you know what? On the back of the roof here, it's my house. I don't care if the shingles are different color. I'm going for functionality. And I'm saving money too.